Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well, and if you are new here, I just want to welcome you. Today we are toning things right down. Obviously most of my videos are pretty much full coverage, medium coverage, full beat, half beat, but today we are doing a really minimal beat. So let's just get right into it. If you aren't aware, I have been taking video requests on my Instagram, so if you don't follow me, make sure you follow me on Instagram. I do want to put out videos that you guys want to see as well, not just videos that I want to put out. So yeah, be sure to follow me on Instagram and let me know what videos you want to see in the future. So we are completely barefaced. I've already prepped my skin, so on a day if I don't really want to wear too much makeup, or if I want to keep it really minimal, I'm not really one to do no makeup looks, but I guess I'm going to refer to this as a minimal makeup application because you might be able to tell that I'm still wearing makeup, but it's still going to be a minimal application. So I've not done my eyebrows, which is what I usually tend to do before I come on camera, so I'm going to include this part in the video. And yeah, sometimes when I do come on, it looks like my eyebrows are already done, but they're not already done. So I'm just going to show you guys again what I do to my brows. If you don't already know, I have been using this Revolution soap styler, which is for your eyebrows, and it comes with this brush in here. I have showed it in a previous video before, but it's basically just soap. I don't know what formula of soap this is, but this is what I use to prep my brows. So all I really do is just get the brush wet, and I pretty much just comb my eyebrows with this. A little bit really does go a long way. Sometimes it might feel like it's too wet and it's not doing anything, but trust me, it really is. Just combing my eyebrows with this until I get the desired look, basically. So that's what I want to go for. I mean, it's not much of a difference comparing it to my natural brow, and I always like to go underneath with concealer, so that's what I'm going to do today. I just use a concealer color that is pretty much close to my skin tone, and voila. Once you put this concealer on, it literally just gives you fresh brows instantly. And I usually like to bring this down so it's not looking too harsh. And also sometimes I do apply eyeshadow in my crease just to give it a bit of a bronze look, so to speak. But obviously having a bit of concealer there just helps the eyeshadow to apply better. And then I just go in and blend it out with a brush. So my brows are pretty much done. Now onto the base. Oh, excuse me. No corona, don't worry. We've just entered lockdown number 4, so anyways, let's not even go there. Let's not go there. But I'm going to prime my face as I usually do, and I'm not going to need a whole lot of primer, so I'm actually just going to go with half a pump of my Milk Hydro Grip primer. Half a pump because I'm not really doing a full face, I'm doing minimal makeup, so I'm really not going to need that much primer the way I would usually do if I'm doing like my regular full face of makeup application. So I'm really just want to focus this primer in the areas that I know I'm going to add a bit more coverage. And obviously because I do have hyperpigmentation, a little bit more work will be required to get my desired look. But again, it depends on the person. Some people do like to allow their hyperpigmentation or a bit of their scars to come through when they are doing this kind of look. But yeah, it literally just depends on the person. So as you know, when I am wearing makeup, I always go in and cover my hyperpigmentations first, which is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to use my usual foundation for that, which is the Nars Natural Longwear Radiant Foundation. And for this, I use the shade New Caledonia because it has a nice warm undertone. It is a little bit darker than my usual. And I'm going in with half a pump to begin with. And I'm going to use my finger for this application because I really just want it to be minimal. So I just use my middle finger to just blend that out around this area. And this foundation does have a really nice coverage, so yeah, it's pretty easy to work with it. You really don't need to do too much. I do have my sponge damp on deck just in case I do need it, but for majority of the blending I do use my finger, and it's already done a nice job there compared to what it is there. And again, if I feel like I need to go in with a little bit more, then I do go ahead and do that, and I probably will do, but let's just see how we go. Most of the hyperpigmentation is around my mouth, so a little bit extra work required there. I do want to cover up just a little bit more, so I am going to add another little pump. I'm literally using that much, so yeah. And I feel like with your finger it doesn't take that long, to be honest, but I mean, you could always use a brush or a sponge if you want to, but I just prefer the way it applies with my finger. And what a difference that has already made. I mean, you saw how quick that was. So pretty much happy with that, and I'm now going to go and do the rest of the areas. So I do have a little scar on my forehead here, so I'm just going to spot conceal with my foundation. Very minimal, don't really need to do too much, just blend it around it, and it has reduced already a little bit of that. I know some people do use a concealer to do this, but again, I just want minimal coverage, so I actually prefer to use the foundation because it does have a good amount of coverage for me to be able to do it with this, so it works just fine for me. And then I also want to do my cheeks. As you do see, I do have hyperpigmentation on my cheeks. Usually when I do a full face, I don't go back over that because it kind of does aid in terms of giving me a more sculpted look. So, but on this occasion, I do want to. I do have some moles on my face here as well. I have like, I don't know, probably like 5-6 tiny moles and beauty spot here as well, but I don't think we need to worry about covering that. What a difference. This is why this Nars foundation, baby girl, it's always going to be one of my favorites. Look at the difference. Boom, boom. You can see for yourself what a difference this Nars foundation has made. I love it. And this spot, obviously I can't cover it, but I'm just going to put a little bit of foundation over that. I really I don't know who invited this spot around, but And the reason why I like to use this Nars foundation as well is not just because of the coverage, but also because of the formula, because it's not a matte foundation, it's a natural radiant foundation. You saw how nice and hydrated my skin was and how dewy or glowy it was. So adding a matte foundation, I feel, will just highlight any texture and reduce some of that radiant appearance. So that's the reason why I prefer not to use a matte foundation, but a foundation that's a little bit more natural, more skin-like, dewy, luminous, glowy, that sort of thing. My skin's looking a lot more even than it was before, and I'm sure you guys can agree as well. My under eyes, I haven't touched that. I'm still looking a little bit tired and I want to look a little bit more awake. So I'm going to use my Nars foundation in the shade Macao, and I'm going to basically put that in the areas that I want to look a bit more brightened, a bit more awake, which obviously starts with under my eyes. So I'm going to start off with under my eyes first. Again, using my finger, just put a pump and share it between the two, and literally just going right underneath and blending that out. And I do add a little bit on top of my lid as well, because I do have some hyperpigmentation there. Obviously, if you don't have hyperpigmentation, then it's just a lot easier for you to do this, but this is what works for me. So yeah, and I'm gonna add a little bit on my nose and forehead, basically the areas that I would usually highlight, just that much on my nose, putting the rest here. Okay, so we're pretty much done. I'm looking a lot more awake and brighter than I was before, and if you look at me in person, you really won't be able to tell that I'm wearing makeup. My skin's nice and even without looking too crazy. You can still see a little bit of my scars, which is not an issue at all. My main thing is just to target my hyperpigmentations and just make my skin look as even as possible when I'm doing this sort of thing. Unfortunately, I don't have any cream blush, but I'm gonna try and use a lipstick to do that. Hopefully it does the job. But I'm gonna use this lipstick, which is the No. 7 lipstick in Cinnamon Spice 855. This is the color, so it's just a nice rosy lipstick, and I'm just going to apply a little bit on my hand. The formula of this lipstick is quite sheer, so I think this would work perfectly well. And just going to add very little, just to make our cheeks look a little bit flushed. Gonna add a little bit more of that. When you're doing this, if you're going to use lipstick, just make sure it's not a matte lipstick and it's not super glossy. And now we want to set this. Obviously you don't want to put too much powder. You can go ahead and leave it just like this, but I have oily combination skin, so for me, I'm gonna go ahead and set this. I'm gonna use my Mercier Honey Translucent Powder, and I'm using this flat fluffy brush, and I'm only gonna go in with very little. I'm using a brush because a brush applies minimal coverage, so just want to tap off all of the excess, tap off some of the back of your hand as well, and just lightly go in and set that. I've just put very little, and I'm going to add a little bit more just under my eyes because I do tend to crease a bit under there. And you can see the difference. Radiant, not radiant. Just going to add a bit of this on top of the blusher that we put as well, whatever's left over on the brush. And obviously you can tell that I do have some hyperpigmentation here, and I didn't bring the foundation down there, so I'm gonna use my Fenty Beauty powder foundation in the shade 410, and I'm gonna just get a nice fluffy brush like this to basically target the areas that I have hyperpigmentation, which is around my mouth and obviously in this area here. And I'm just putting very little of this. You can obviously put this all over your face if you want to, but for me, I don't need to. And then I'm just gonna get a bigger fluffy brush and just apply this all here, just to give us a bit more an even tone. This is what happens when you have hyperpigmentation or when your face don't match your neck or anything like that. And I do like to put a little bit of mascara, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Use whatever mascara you have. I'm gonna use my Huda Beauty Legit Lashes mascara, and I'm only gonna go in with the curling length side just to give us a bit more length. And I'm not gonna apply this the way I usually do, which is from the root. I'm literally gonna apply this pretty much towards the end, just feather them out. If you can tell the difference, no mascara, mascara. My mascara wand hit my lower lash line, so obviously you can tell that I am wearing mascara. If you don't want to put it on your lower lash line, you can obviously go ahead and skip that out. So for my lips, I'll either go in with a nude lip or a tinted lipstick. I'm going to use my lip balm. This is the Dr. Pawpaw lip balm. This is the red one, and you can see this comes across red. So this is actually what I used to do quite often when I was heading out to work. Obviously we're in quarantine, we ain't going nowhere, so you can stop there, or you can use a tinted lipstick. I do also have my e.l.f. Miss Amores lip palette. This is what it looks like, by the way, and then inside it's looking a bit of a mess, but I would either go in with one of those red shades. I'm gonna apply just very little of that, just to give us a bit more opacity. And I'm actually happy with how my eyebrows are looking just like this. So I love the way this is looking. If I just show you compared to my chest now, we look even, obviously because we did go in with that Macao foundation color. So this is my no makeup application. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for some of you guys that maybe prefer to do a little bit less on the makeup application. If there are any specific videos you guys want to see, please feel free to let me know down below, or go ahead on my Instagram, and I usually have polls so you can send me messages in terms of what videos you guys want to see. Other than that, make sure you check out some of my previous videos. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Do subscribe if you are not already, and of course I hope to see you all in my next one. Bye.